Hello folks, welcome to Rajesh Durbala Tutorials. In this session, we are going to cover this topic, marketing as a concept. We have been discussing quite a number of concepts in marketing, and this is one of those basic and fundamental concepts where we try to understand what marketing as a concept is. What are the priorities? What are the orientations that various firms, various businesses have towards marketing, and what should be borne in mind while taking up marketing as a function. I'm your instructor, Rajesh Durbala, and I'll be taking you through this small little session, but definitely an important one if you are planning to learn marketing. Going ahead, this is the learning outcome that we have for this session. The learning outcome is describe the new marketing concept and its significance. Fine. So this is what we are going to learn, that we will be in a position to describe what marketing as a concept is and what's its significance. Now, marketing has three dimensions. The first dimension is the customer orientation. Always remember, whatever we do in the field of marketing or in the realm of marketing, it's only for the customer. We identify the needs of the customer. We try to look for the problem areas. What is the pain point of the customer? And then we should have the resolve to satisfy the customer, solve his problems, diffuse his pain points, and ensure that the customer is satisfied or rather delighted. That's the customer orientation. And then B, the next point, that is competitor orientation. We need to keep all our senses alert. We need to be proactive in order to sense what the competition is doing and what would be the next step of our competition. So we need to be proactively involved in being a step ahead of our competition in order to be in our business. And the third point is ability to respond to the environmental changes. Environmental changes could be in the form of political or legal, technological. Any kind of a social change can also be a change that could occur in your environment. Okay, so just keep it in mind. There could be political changes. Now, at this point of a time, we could see the world. We have seen how the political change has happened in US. We could see how people are responding even in India to the political changes. So we could understand that the entire socio-economic fabric of the world or the country is changing. The needs of the people are changing. People are looking for a change. So this is a big environmental change that we are observing, and thus even the marketing or any business should keep their senses opened for observing these changes and taking some proactive steps in order to fight these changes or adapt to these changes. So marketing has these three dimensions. First and foremost, the customer orientation. Then you have your competition orientation. And the third one, that is the ability, agility. Okay. It's not just the ability. You also need to be agile. You need to be quick enough to respond to those environmental changes. Right? Now, the marketing orientation and how it can be employed in organizations. Right? So when we have these marketing orientations, we need to apply them. We need to deploy them in our organizations. Now, first and foremost, the consumer orientation. As I discussed earlier, we need to be alert of what the needs of the consumer are, how the changes are occurring in the needs of the consumer, what are the pain points, what is the customer looking for. So marketing is all about finding the need and filling the gap, right? That is what is consumer orientation. Number two, an integrated approach to exploiting market opportunities. So it's not just only selling. Marketing is not just about selling. Marketing is all about an integrated approach. You identify the needs of the consumer. Then you need to create some products and services which could be a probable solution to the problems of the consumers, right? And you should be able to provide those products and services at the best possible price, at the most convenient places for the consumer, and the consumer must be communicated. The consumer must be told about the benefits of the product and how it can solve the problems and needs of the consumer. So the entire thing is an integrated approach where all your marketing mix, okay, your marketing mix in the sense of product, price, place, and promotion, all these things have to be worked up in order to provide the maximum value to your consumer. Fine. That is what is integrated approach. And then the futuristic approach. Now you could see many of these organizations, many of the best organizations in the world, they always have a futuristic approach. They are not worried about today. Marketing is not at all about a quick fix. It is never a quick fix. It's a long-term approach. So these organizations, the successful marketing organizations, they are not worried about today, so they never consider marketing to be an expenditure. They always believe marketing to be an investment. So, for instance, let us see, Kellogg's cornflakes had been struggling in India for it's almost 15 to 20 years. But their agenda was not to get instant business, because they were aware that it's not over time that I can change the breakfast habits of Indians. It takes time. So they were waiting for the new generation to come up, where from their childhood onwards, their breakfast culture could be changed. So you could see that probably I may not be interested in taking the Kellogg's cornflakes, the cereals as my breakfast, but my children do not like the conventional, the traditional breakfast items in their breakfast. Rather, they prefer Kellogg's cornflakes or cereals. So these organizations which are very much oriented towards marketing, they have that futuristic approach. They are not focused on today. They are focused on tomorrow or day after. So they work with a timeline of 5 to 10 years down the line. So that is what is a futuristic approach. And then you have very highly developed marketing systems. You have very advanced technologies. For instance, eCRM, okay? CRM, eCRM, all these things are highly developed marketing systems where you try to analyze the customer's lifetime value. Then you try to curate products, your product portfolio, in order to retain those customers, to convert them into your core customers, gain their loyalty. Okay, so all these advanced marketing systems which are deployed by these organizations, they help in building long-term relationships with the customers and gain mutual benefits. Okay, the customer also gets benefit for his loyalty, and at the same time the organization also gains a lot from the loyalty of the customer who stays with you and becomes your core customer. Coming to the next point is marketing culture. Marketing is not just a process for one department. Marketing has to be penetrated. Okay, the entire organization should be impregnated with the concept of marketing. Every person in the organization must be involved in this process of marketing. It's not just the marketing department who should be bothered about marketing, but every member in the organization, they should be proud of their brand. They should have that feeling or the aura of the brand, and they should be carrying their pride of the brand over their sleeves. And that pride, that pride that you carry about your brand becomes infectious, and you keep talking about your brand in such a way that inspires people to come get attracted towards your brand. So that culture has to be deeply rooted and seated within every member of the organization. So that there should be a lot of training, there should be a lot of motivational things that should be making every member of your organization as a brand ambassador for your brand, right? That is what is marketing culture. And then the most important one, that is speed. As I told you earlier, agility. Speed is the most paramount thing when it comes to marketing. The way, the speed at which you adapt to marketing changes, the changes in the environment, the changes in the culture, the changes in the consumer behavior, the changes in the legal and political systems. So the speed with which you adapt to all these things, all these changes, what makes you gain that edge over your competitors. Moreover, the speed at which you come forward to resolve the consumer problems, the consumer complaints, that also helps you gain the trust and loyalty of your customers. So speed is something that cannot be condoned, cannot be ignored, cannot be at all taken for granted, right? So I hope you liked this lecture. If you have found it useful, do like, share, and subscribe. Do keep visiting for more interesting and informative content. Thank you for watching Rajesh Durbala Tutorials. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.